from Mexico. I have my tea. Yes, I want to do a dedicated Mexico video. Mexico is amazing. I have the deepest love for that country and some plans. Maybe I'll talk about them in a separate video. Let me know if you want to hear my thoughts about what I did while I'm doing my look, some sort of a get ready with me video. But for this video, let's focus on the new releases because we have a lot of stuff. We also have a candle. Today's candle is Vanilla Latte. I got this from TJ Maxx. Isn't this just super, super cute? And it came with this thing. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you that it's cute. It kind of looks like a coffee cup. Also for this video, I listened to you all. I had it in a poll in my community tab which palette you wanted me to dupe next, and Shellwe's, I don't remember the name of Somber Garden or something, got the most votes, so that's what we're using today. I duped it already. I also have a few other dupes. Let me quickly mention so you know what's coming up. I duped for you all Nomad's palette. I still need to put up the video for Secret Garden from Bella Beauté Bar. I know that's kind of oldie, but I promised, so I have to do that. And then also the palettes from Ensley Rain, the Flutter and Floral or whatever the names were. I have one of them here. I have duped those as well. The video's coming up. Because I've been away, there's a whole lot of stuff to talk about. But before I get started, beauties, it is Labor Day weekend, so a lot of brands are having Labor Day sale. If there was something you were waiting for, go to the brand site. Maybe they're having it on a sale. Don't buy things full price. I know for a fact that Terra Moon is having a 25% off sale. I wouldn't be surprised if Shine by SD is having a sale because they do relatively frequently, and Clionadh's having a sale. And now that we talked about Clionadh, let me get started with that one. Now, if you've been following me, you know that I have been on a low buy pretty much the whole year, and I already spent my budget for the third quarter on the Sydney Gray sale, but I'm gonna cheat and probably pick up something from Clionadh, which will likely be their latest bundle release. My low buy will end during Thanksgiving sales, and I was gonna wait for that sale to pick them up, but these are on a pre-order and they're not gonna ship until September, and I'm not gonna be in town October. I'm going back to Spain, so I'm probably not gonna get them until end of October anyway, or maybe even into November. So I just figured, you know, why not receive them earlier so that I have an opinion so that I can make more videos for you all. I'm not going to consider that cheating. Let me know if you think that's cheating. Write it in the comments below. I don't want you all to feel like I'm cheating on my no buy. NBA Cosmetics is having some metallic release. They have 8 new sparkly metallic singles. I recently realized I have way too many single shadows, and if I'm buying any singles, they would have to be shifty, sparkly stuff I don't have a dupe for. So passing on this. Also, I don't have budget. Yeah, frankly, for anything I even say I'm gonna buy, it's probably gonna have to wait until the holiday sales. It's just stuff I'm interested in. I saw this from Danessa Myricks and I was like, that's kind of cute. I have swatched Danessa Myricks palettes at Sephora in the past, and while I find a lot of her multichromes pretty special and sparkly, I have the best multichromes in the market, the kind that I've spent $18, $17 on, or even more. So it doesn't make sense to buy dupes. Beauties, don't go buy dupes. Please make sure you don't have dupes before you go buy them. And if I do that, it's only to show you all what shade is a dupe for what shade, so you don't make that kind of a mistake. There is no point in buying dupes. Of course, you do you. It's your money. You want to do that, go ahead and do that. But let me tell you, as someone with experience, these shades have an expiration date. If you buy too many of them, if you're not using them in time, they're going to start smelling, and one day you're going to realize you're going to have to ditch like hundreds of dollars of eyeshadows. So back to this. This is cute. You can separate these and take them as 6 pans. They call them magnetic, customizable, and stackable to go, but I think the stackable part is just 6 pans stackable. You can't take them one shadow at a time and like use them on your own. And the interesting thing about these is that it looks like the pans are all shimmers, so even if you're going to use them as 6 pans, you can't just use them on their own. Well, I can't. I don't do one shadow looks. And I have done it in the past in this channel just to challenge myself, doing an all shimmer look, but I really don't do that very often. So although I like to try Niacinamide more than just swatching it at Sephora one day, not today. I also don't see anything special in these swatches. The other thing is that a lot of times these swatches look so enhanced. These swatches that are so cleanly done are clearly computer generated or computer enhanced. It's not gonna look like that, friends. And as if that wasn't reason enough, these 18 pans go for $128. No, I don't have that kind of money. Moving on. We're already seeing Halloween stuff, which doesn't bother me. I'm already in the spooky season. Hello, skeletons. GXV by Gwen Stefani is having some very, very neutral, uninteresting shadow palettes. These go for $28. They're available at Sephora, and I've seen them at TJ Maxx. I'm seeing advent calendars and holiday releases also. I'm skipping over all of that. Juvia's Place is releasing this lip gloss. Most of the shades presented are super pink. Not for me. I'm not a gloss person, thankfully. Better for my budget, but it's available if you're interested. I don't have a price. Let's talk about Sugar Drizzle. They're having this 12-pan palette releasing. Has it already released? It might already be available. I think combining mauves and teals is an interesting idea, but I find the color story a little redundant. I think this palette could have been 10 or even 8 pans. Let me know if you want me to dupe this. I could dupe it, but if nobody wants to see a dupe, I would. There are enough palettes to dupe. I could skip this. As I mentioned, we're already getting into Halloween. This is Wet n Wild's Halloween release. If I see this at Walmart or somewhere, I might pick up the lipsticks, the 2 lipsticks, the red one and the deep burgundy one. Frankly, those are the only things that are catching my attention. I like Wet n Wild's lipsticks. I don't need eyeshadow palettes. I have Wet n Wild eyeshadow palettes that I've not used enough, and I can dupe all of these. Mika Beauty Shop has sneak peeked a collab with Icarus MUA. They are saying that this is going to be based on 7 Elysian sins. I can't wait to see. I'm excited for the reveal. Mika Beauty Shop usually does super colorful palettes, and they also include some multichromes that are very special. I have a lot of their palettes. I even have some reviews. I'll tag them for you all if you're curious about my thoughts. Probably not to pick up, but I'm excited to see what they have. There's also some sneak peek from Beauty Moon, and there's also a collab. Didn't Beauty Moon release a whole lot of things recently? I think they did, and I think I talked about it in my past to buy or not to buys, the past few. So can't wait to see what they have. They also release a lot of super colorful things. And while we're talking about sneak peeks, Profusion is going to be collabing with Snoopy and the gang. And, well, if you don't know how much I love Snoopy, I love Snoopy. I used to think I was Snoopy when I was a kid. This is going to be revealed in a few days on the 4th. So I can't wait. But I'm probably not going to buy. And Spectrum Collection has collabed with Pushin on the stuff they always release: brushes, sponges, puffs, etc. I'm not in the market for any of that, and Spectrum Collection is kind of pricey. Although I love Pushin, I love cats, but not for me at the moment. Don't have that kind of money. This Nude Mood lip gloss collection is coming from Give Me Glow. Thankfully, I'm not a lip gloss person. Notoriously Morbid has sneak peeked its advent calendar for Halloween. I'm going to talk about Halloween separately. I already said that, so let's not get into that. Touch of Glam, friends. I talked about this in the past, but now it's kind of revealed. This is their Color Me Multi 4th series, and it has quite a few. It looks like it has 16 shades at least. Touch of of Glam is kind of an interesting brand. I've never done a dedicated review for them, but I use quite a few of their singles when I do palettes. The only thing is that I find them a little pricey, even on sale. They used to have 30% off sales, and even on those sales, they were kind of pricey. Revolution has collabed with Mean Girls. Not for me, not for me. These SFX cream colored palettes are back from NYX. They release these, or a version of these, every year around this time of the year for Halloween if you want to make funky looks and artwork on your eyes. These are great. I have seen them at Walmart and they're pretty reasonably priced. Indie Beats Cosmetics has released this palette and it seems like it's available for pre-order. Beauties don't do pre-orders unless you absolutely have to. There are times when you might have to. But I would be surprised if you don't have a dupe of this palette already in your collection. I don't even like neutrals and I can dupe this palette just with my singles. And I probably already have dupes of it in the palettes that I own. This palette could have been reduced to £9, so don't buy makeup that you have a dupe of. Talking about neutral releases, P. Louise is also releasing a lot of neutral things. Now, this looks more like a multi-purpose product, maybe for the face, maybe for other things. Regardless, not for me. I don't have that kind of money. CoverGirl has released these for Halloween. They're called Outlast Lip Stain Halloween Limited Edition Transfer Proof Non-Drying Lightweight and Buildable, and they're available in 7 shades. While they're exciting, I don't need, and I'm not gonna buy because I have enough. I have enough stuff, and I already know what I'm gonna be for Halloween. You guys are gonna love it. Stay tuned for that video. This one caught my attention because it's super colorful and I even thought about duping it. Let me know if you want me to dupe it. If you want to see a dupe, it's Belle's Cosmetics collab with Brick Beauty. It's already available if you want. And I know you can also pre-order some of their older palettes if you were waiting for those. I need to do another declutter and I think I'm going to do a very brutal one. So stay tuned for that video because I need to use my singles and I'm just loving duping palettes. So I don't see myself picking any of these up. We talked about neutrals. Let's also talk about this one. Collab between Be Perfect Cosmetics and Erin McGregor. It's always lovely to see collabs, even if they're not for me. And obviously a palette like this is not for me. I can dupe this, but congrats to Erin. Enough of that. Let me get started with the look. I'm gonna prime with Glamshop. Before getting started, I wanted to say I bought these magnetic palettes from Miss A store. There are Miss A stores in Austin that you could just go to, but I'm sure they're also available online. They're so cool and they're just $7. If not the cheapest, there are definitely some of the cheapest magnetic palettes that I've purchased. They fit 28, 26 millimeter pans, the regular standard size, and they have cool, funky designs like this one. So just saying, if you're not in Texas, you can buy them online. I'm gonna do a separate video talking about which shades these are, but let's for now go into the green one. And I'm kind of putting this in the outer V and then brushing it across the crease. This shade is Lost from Sydney Grace. Don't mind if there's a little bit of patchiness. I'll do a lot of blending off camera. I'm gonna go with a fluffier brush into the light blue, and I am going to brush this against the edges to kind of blend it into my skin. And now with the green, I'm gonna come under here and just brush it against my lower lash line. And now with the same brush and as much blue as is left on it, I'm just gonna diffuse the lower lash line. If you want, you can pick a less fluffy brush. This one is so fluffy. Let's continue. There are quite a few things that have been sneak peeked and potentially even released at this point. From Touch of Glam, we already talked about the Color Me Multi releases. They're also releasing or have sneak peeked, might already be released at this point because this is kind of an older news. Hollows. This might already be available because I haven't done a to buy or not to buy in a few weeks. Also, they sneak peeked earlier this month additions to their birthday style collection. It's their 9th birthday That's why they're releasing these. I have some shades from this collection. I use it a lot for duping things. These are super metallic multichromes, and in fact, I have one of them in this palette called Love Has No Bounds or Love Knows No Bounds. And I'm gonna use it in this look to give you all some perspectives. Oh, and beauties, I am wearing Thermo-Nuclear from Clionadh. Now that we talked about Clionadh having a sale, these might be on a sale. This was one of their Slickadelic ones, but the later releases, not the very first Slickadelic collection. This is the shade. It's so beautiful, super multichromy, and even a little bit holographic. I think you can see that it has tiny grains in it. It looks like it's made up of tiny glitter particles. It's so pretty. We also have the latest reveal from Unearthly Cosmetics, which is their Gargoyle palette and collection. I saw this morning. Although this has been announced August 14th, I didn't know about this palette. I think you can already purchase it on the site, but it might be a pre-sale. The collection has highlighters and lip glosses as well. Let me know if you want me to dupe this palette. I loved the color story of this palette. I think this palette is gorgeous. And as ironic as it sounds, I have to talk about this one because I haven't talked about it. Shellwe Makeup's Somber Garden collection. I think there's a collab. It says Shellwe Makeup in collaboration with Freya 86. Congrats to Freya. Beautiful palette. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't dupe it, but I'm just not gonna buy because I've already duped it. If you're interested in picking it up, it says the palette has 3 multichromes, 1 shimmer, and 6 mattes. Full size is $60, mini size is $29. $60 for 10 pans is too much for me, knowing how much makeup I have and the fact that I could dupe this. Now with a small-headed brush, I'm gonna go into this deep blue shade. A lot of the single mattes in this palette are from Sydney Grace. I recently came to acquire them during the sale. I'm just using this to deepen out my outer V a little more. Okay, let's continue. There are a few other palettes that we kind of know have released, but I've never talked about, like this one. Of course, I told you all I have already duped it. Beautiful, beautiful palette, which is why I duped it, even if you guys didn't want to see the dupe, but I'm not going to buy it. I asked Nomad before this released if it was going to be magnetic with the pants coming out, and they said no, which is why I opted for duping it. Another one is this one. The last buy or not to buy that I did, I talked about something sneak peeking from Blend Bunny, and this is the palette. This to me looks very similar to a rainbow palette. It's already released. It released August 18th and it's already available. And Blend Bunny, for the quality, has great prices. This palette was $47 for that many shades. But as I said, I have no need. I have a lot of other palettes from Blend Bunny, and I think between those, I have pretty much a dupe for this. But congrats to Donnie Darkowitz, who did this collab with Blend Bunny. Let me now get into the shimmer. I'm gonna use the H Base Booster over here. And I'm gonna use Touch of Glam shimmer as I promised. If I didn't want to use that, frankly, I would just cover it with a light matte, one of these two, and just keep it at a full matte look. But let's go into the shimmer. This is what this shade looks like. And I'm gonna put it here, almost across. You can see how metallic and multichromy it is. I'm loving the look, and last but not least, with this tiny headed brush, I'm gonna go into this cream. I picked this cream as an alternative for that gray, depending on how deep you wanted the palette to be. And I'm gonna use this shade in my inner corner just to brighten up the look. Beauties, you all asked for close-up of the looks. I always do a close-up reel of the looks that I make in my to buy or not to buys on Instagram, but I'm gonna start doing a close-up of the look at the very end of the video. So if you want to see a close-up, stay till the end. With the brush that has a little bit of the blue, I'm just gonna deepen this lower lash a little bit. Whatever's left on that brush, I'm not gonna tap it into the deep blue anymore. And I think my eye look is done, and I'm really liking it. I'm gonna put a little bit of this lipstick from a Mexican brand called Pink Up Cosmetics that I purchased in Mexico City on my lips. I'll be right back. And my look is done. I'm gonna put everything I have on my face in the description box below. There's a few things left. Let's quickly get through them. These released in mid-August, but I never got a chance to talk about them. I find these super, super cute. I purchased one of these and I end up giving it to a friend. I find the packaging super cute. The paw print is so cute. So I could totally see myself pick one of these up, particularly the pinky one as a highlighter slash blush in the future. In the future, there's nothing from Copacetic that I'm in the process of buying or I'm interested in picking up now. Another release that I never got a chance to talk about because it dropped when I was out of the country was another release from Natasha. The name of this palette is I Need a Warm. And my question is, did we really need this? Is this really that different from everything else Natasha has released? If you have those, did you need this? If you know, tell me, because I'm convinced I don't need this. I definitely don't need this. And Natasha's also hiking prices. These midi palettes used to be $65 or $60, and now this one is $70. And I definitely don't have that kind of money to spend on a palette that I don't need. My only question, just out of curiosity, not because I'm interested in picking up, is Phenomena a multichrome? Let me know if you know. And last but not least is the collab between Sigma Beauty and Baddie Bean on release of her favorite brushes. Now, although I definitely don't need more brushes, and the fact that this brush set is $81, so kind of pricey for me, when I looked at the brushes, they look pretty small-headed. And having hooded eyes, I have realized I absolutely love small-headed brushes. So if I ever wanted to pick anything up from Sigma, this would be my chance. Although I don't have a budget for it right now, but we'll see. Congrats to Baddie Bean. It's always exciting to see collabs. And with that, beauties, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, don't forget to press the subscribe button. Before you leave, let me know what makeup you managed to talk yourself out of this week in the comments below. I do these to buy or not to buys on the weekly, and my playlist is going to be recommended to you before the end of this video. Now, as promised, let's look at the close-up of this eye look. Beauties, have an amazing week, and until next time, bye!